Welcome to Fantasy Fanline.
What is up, everybody? Week 3 in the books. Starting to feel real now. I'm sick again. Go figure. But the show must go on. What's up, Sinker? How's your week 3?
Feeling good, man. Finally, my team's bounced back. I'm starting to get production out of my guys. Feeling like I didn't waste the whole summer, man. I feel like I'm finally getting going here. So, talked about it pre-show. I think teams are finally starting to heat up. I think the September football is coming to an end and October's starting, and I think we got to buckle in and just get ready, man. I think we're going to start seeing some high numbers, and I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, high numbers. We'll get into that Dolphins game in a little bit. Jeez. But without further ado, P Muggs, welcome back. I'm going to need you guys to carry today. I'm going to need you flu game too. I'm tired of being sick. Something going around. Jonathan, what's up, man? Just a reminder that we're a call-in show. So give us a ring. Let's start questions, talk about your week 3 matchups, talk some waivers. But, without further ado, we're bringing back one of the best we had on the show, an old friend, writes for the Fantasy Footballers, Mr. Aaron Larson. Aaron, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing great. Glad to be here again.
Yeah, it feels like just yesterday we had you on, and what was that, week 1 or like right before week 1?
It was just before, and it seems like you said, you blink and all of a sudden we are heading into week 4.
Yeah, time's certainly moving, but we're on to week 4. Starting to feel real now. We got a little sample size now. There's not as many fluky games. We got Brandon Hall, Raheem Mostert. Shouting love to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
John Urbanski, love fantasy football. Hate Zach Wilson.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
It's tough being a Jets fan. Oh, we have a caller right off the jump. So
let's go to it.
Let's get into it.
Starting off hot. Bringing him in real quick. Caller, where are you calling from? What's your name, man? What can we do for you today?
It's me. It's at D-O-double-G.
Hey, Road Dog? Is that you, Road Dog?
The new generation. That's old generation. So I'm calling in for 2 reasons. I got a one, call you out for picking Daniel Jones the rest of the year instead of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Hey, week two, he was cooking though. We got a whole season, man. Come on.
You might.
That wasn't good.
We victory lap in week 3. All right, keep going.
All right, and you got Aaron on the show. Aaron, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You just did a Target Trends article this week.
Yep.
I want to know how you adjust when there's storylines like when AJ Brown causes drama with Hurts. I'm curious how that plays out for you.
Causes drama?
I think he's referring to like them on the sidelines, like AJ Brown getting in his face. But apparently Hurts has come out and said that happens every week. Like they're fine. AJ Brown's a fiery dude. I
want my receivers to want the ball. Like that's a position where those guys are alphas for a reason, and I have no problem with it. And I think that's all the biggest alphas you got in the past. Your Stephon Diggs had his offseason narrative. You go all the way back to Randy Moss. You go way back to Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, these guys are going to make noise if they're not getting the ball, and I'm totally okay with that.
And yeah, that list of guys you named is quite a damn good one. So we all know AJ Brown's elite. We all know he wants the ball. It was a Devontae Smith game when we saw that. They're both going to be good for fantasy. Aaron, the articles are great, man. We love them. I'm awesome. It's great you got a call referring to one of your pieces, man. But
thanks for calling, man.
Thanks for calling. Jones ain't done yet, though. Jones ain't done yet.
Right.
Zach Wilson puts
Look at these teams here.
you too, man. Wilson puts the YU and BYU. All right, enough of the Zach Wilson talk for now.
Just to Aaron's point though, like all of those stud wide receivers are going to complain when they're not getting the ball. Like that's part of football, right? Like I feel like Tyreek did it with Mahomes. Like they're all going to do that. It's just it doesn't mean that like AJ Brown is not going to get the ball next week.
Yeah, as soon as that happened.
If anything, that is kind of like the squeaky wheel. Like I think they do try to keep those guys happy because they are that good.
For sure, man. And
I feel like AJ Brown started getting peppered as soon as that whole thing happened. But Eagles are 3-0. You want a piece of that team for fantasy, and they look like we thought they'd look. They are who we thought they were. Anyway, Billy Kennedy. How much concern about T-Law should T-Law owners have after 2 pedestrian offensive weeks down in Duval?
I mean, it's been really 3 weeks, right? Like, I mean, you're not even last week, like you're not getting the production out of T-Law that you want. I watched the whole game. Like he's not hitting his guys. He's not doing it. So I think you have to have some concern here. Like if you're a Trevor Lawrence owner, like I think you have to start looking at the waiver wire, honestly. I mean, you can maybe take it one more week, but by that time, like it might be late on getting some of these guys. I mean, it's a great offense, right? Like we talked it up all preseason, but if he's not getting the job done and it's not working, you have to pivot. This is what fantasy football is all about. So
I did see on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, that he had 3 monster plays that would be monster plays that resulted in drops. Calvin Ridley dropped the surefire touchdown. His receivers aren't helping him too much right now. But yeah, for a guy that wasn't my guy, I don't feel great about it. But I'm not dropping Trevor Lawrence. I'm okay with picking someone else up and like stashing Lawrence till he gets right. But I'm definitely not dropping him after only 3 weeks. So yeah, more concerning than we thought it would be to start the year. But I think I would chill. It's still too early. Aaron, what were you saying, man? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, that's good. I was jumping in there just saying the week before in week 2, I think there was at least 2, maybe 3 plays where like a foot just came down out of bounds. Like there was multiple touchdowns that were literally inches away. So I'm concerned, but I'm not panicking yet with Lawrence. Like I don't blame anybody for picking up another quarterback. There's plenty of guys out there to stream, but I still think the potential is there. The ceiling, it's tough this time of year. It's like we're saying we have 3 weeks of sample size now, which seems huge. We had nothing for so long, but it's still a small sample.
For sure. I think the biggest concern for me with Trevor Lawrence is just in the red zone. I'm just not, and you guys talked about it. It could be small little tweaks and he gets right, but he's just not putting up the touchdown points, man. And it's hard when you've got guys out there. Jordan Love, he's chucking 3 touchdowns. He looked sloppy all game, but he's throwing 3 touchdowns. He's getting you there every week. So I don't know. I'm a Trevor Lawrence owner in a lot of leagues, and I'm going to look elsewhere. I'm not going to drop Lawrence. I'm not going to completely give up, but I think you have to kind of adjust before it's too late. So just play it smart. I mean, that's my advice.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely don't drop Trevor Lawrence after 3 weeks. What's up, Albert? Thanks for tuning in again, man. Always a pleasure to have you watching. P. Muggs, another regular, asking, any advice for me? I'm 0-3, but I'm the 4th highest scorer. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, and you got to, trust the process and keep going. Obviously, you're the 4th highest scorer. You have great players. So, my advice would be not get too frustrated this early and just trust the process. If you're 0-6, maybe you panic a little, but, I've seen I said it before. I've seen teams go 0-5, 0-6, and still make play. We have a lot of football left to play, so my advice would just be like take a deep breath and trust the process. Sinker, you were saying?
Oh, Aaron, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. No, it is. Unfortunately, we do all the projecting and ranking and studying we want, there's still a lot of luck involved in this. Like having the fourth most points and being 0-3, that's bad luck. That's variance. So keep doing your thing, keep playing the waiver wire. But if that'll turn around at some point if you're putting up the best lineup you can every week. That's all you can do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're 0-3 and you're getting there in points, that's the luck factor, like Aaron said. So I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't overreact. Don't make a dumb trade. Hold tight. You could easily be 3-3 here, and if you have the points, you're going to be pushing for the playoffs no matter what. So I would just hold tight, keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, it sucks. It's part of the game, but just hope that the schedule gods bless you for the next couple of weeks.
We got Tommy Donuts with a start 3 bench one. Saquon, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Kyron Williams. Well, Kenneth Walker's being played. I think Kyron Williams got to be in there too. I don't think Barkley's going to play, so I think you have to play Breece. But as a Breece guy myself, that KC match, it's rough. It's rough with the Jets right now. And this should be a game where KC's up huge, quick, in my opinion. And as much as I like Breece Hall, it's been really rough after that first week where he looked great because, Zach Wilson's horrible at football. We've seen enough. There's no redemption tour for Zach Wilson. Trevor Siemian could come in. I'll feel better about all my Jet skill players. I don't think Barkley's going to play, but if he does, it's Barkley, Kenneth Walker, and Kyron Williams for me. Aaron, how about you?
Yeah, exact same. You're probably a little more locked into the Barkley news. I just know that he is, the quote I saw was a chance to play, whatever that means. But assuming that
he is Monday night too, so that's something you have to keep your eye on.
Yeah, that's a good point. That makes it really tough. I mean, it's hard to trust Breece Hall, but if Barkley has any doubt heading into Sunday, you gotta sit him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's probably if Barkley's not playing, you're running Breece, Walker, Kyron. If all three were playing, I mean, I'm probably sitting Breece. I think the Chiefs' defense has been stingy. It's been good. It's been real good all 3 weeks. I mean, honestly, I think that's like it's a small sample size. I'd like to see them. I thought the Jaguars were going to be better, but through this week's, but whatever. That's nowhere here or there. But I think the Chiefs' defense is good, and they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to throw the ball. So if all of them are healthy, I'm probably going Barkley, Walker, Kyron. Barkley's out, obviously, you have to sit him.
And I got to guess this is probably a flex question unless it's a league where you start 3 running backs. So I feel like I can find a better receiver to fill in my lineup than Breece at that point.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Trevor Siemian, please save Breece Hall. That's all I have to ask.
Are they going to Trevor? Is that what
they're not going to him? They still say Zach gives him the best chance to win, but we all know that's BS.
I feel terrible for Zach Wilson, man. Like it sucks, dude. New York's a cutthroat city, dude. Like I feel bad for him. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's not good. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as a human being, a little bad.
Did you guys see Garrett Wilson like ripping him on the sideline?
I didn't see that.
He deserves to be ripped, man.
Garrett Wilson was just going after him.
I mean, Garrett Wilson, the same guy some people were taking over Amon-Ra at the 1-2 turn the last time we talked, and now he might be able to trade him for Chris Godwin. That Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, well, that's what injury says.
Actually, we'll get into that right now. This was from Herbs and Spices on IG. Where the hell is there? It is. Because Zach Wilson is a hot pile of garbage, should I look to move Garrett Wilson? And all I can say is good luck. Anyone who's in your league is watching the same Zach Wilson Jets football as you. I'm not trading Garrett Wilson for, a wide receiver 4. Let me name some names. Would you trade Garrett Wilson for Puka, Aaron? Right now.
Oh, man, that is good. I think I might. I wasn't prepared for this one. No, yeah.
I might too, man. It's okay. I think I'd definitely consider it. What about Godwin? I just brought him up. I think I'd keep Wilson over Godwin.
I think
I don't know though.
So for me, it's like he's so hard to trade right now. Like you said, like I think you have to you have to wait it out and hope that he has one good game, then you can ship him off, or they make a change at quarterback, and maybe Carson Wentz is still out there. There's still some other. I don't think Trevor Siemian gets. Well, I don't know.
I think he's
It's
better than
so
Zach
hard.
Wilson. It's
I
rough.
think he probably is, but he doesn't give. Not that Carson Wentz is better, but he has that name value that he has scored fantasy points for people in the past. He gives you hope. I don't think Trevor Siemian gives much hope.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the talent is there with Garrett Wilson, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
You saw that week 1, right? With that amazing catch in the end zone. And then week 2, he literally cut off like a 60-yard run for a touchdown. Like this guy is like, he's got it in him. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to just give Garrett Wilson up just to like make the trade of Garrett Wilson. Like you've already invested a 2nd-round pick in this guy. I think you kind of have to hold, unless like the Puka owner or something, like someone like that that's like trying to like make some kind of like tricky trade here to try to win or something. I would consider that, but you can't dump this guy for just pennies on the dollar, right? I think the talent is there. You buy into the talent and you hope that, Wilson can get right or at least find him somehow. And then maybe like Aaron said, they make a quarterback change and he just gets peppered with targets, right?
Yeah, for sure. Would you get rid of Garrett Wilson for either of the Miami Dolphins running backs right now if you were in that situation and you needed a back?
Well, so we're going to talk about that later, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think that
talk about it right now.
Yeah, you can move to it. So I think that both of the Dolphins running backs that we've seen, so Mostert and A-Chain, or what does he want to be called now?
Achane.
So I think that both of those guys moving forward are now starters, but I think you have to be optimistic with it where, Wilson is going to come back too, and he's going to feed into the mix. So I'm not buying into too much. I think the 70-point game was an outlier. I think the Dolphins offense is super electric. Do I expect these running backs to score 4 touchdowns each a week? No. I think they're both startables, but I think moving forward, you have to temper expectations because I think this is soon going to become a 3-headed backfield. They're all super good, but you never know. These running back by committee teams how we feel, right? You have to temper expectations. With that said, though, I mean, if you have either of these guys, you're starting them. Would I trade him for Garrett Wilson? I don't know, man. That's tough.
Yeah, it all comes down to your roster. If you're desperate for a running back, maybe. But fantasy football, you could watch all the podcasts and read all the articles you want. But at the end of the day, you got to trust your gut feeling. And it's your team,
For sure.
Use us as a guide. But at the end of the day, you're the GM here. But I just can't, I just can't see them not using these two guys after what we saw last week. They can't take them off the field. I think I'm against you on that 3-headed monster, man. I think it's going to be more of an insurance thing. I think Mostert and Achane are going to be the two guys. I really do. Jeff Wilson doesn't impress me, and I can't get either off the field after what I saw last week if I was the coach.
He was their guy though, man. Like he was above A-Chain on the depth chart. Everything in training camp says, and I get it. A-Chain just proved himself. Mostert has shown nothing in this game. Mostert has showed no reason why he should not be on the field as well. So I just think that I agree. You should start both of them, but I mean, you're running a committee there, man, and that in some weeks that's going to hurt, man.
Yeah, you're not getting 40+ points every week, unfortunately. That would be great, but Miami is just so damn electric. So if someone's starting for that offense, I'm willing to play them. They're in. Aaron, how do you feel about this backfield? Do you prefer any of the guys out of the bunch?
Yeah. So no, I got to come clean a little bit. So all the footballers do their My Guy episode, but coinciding with that, all the writers pick a My Guy, and this was August 18th. I just looked up the article. So this was before his shoulder injury. But Achane was my guy. I picked him as my guy this year.
Nice.
Jeff Wilson Jr. and Raheem Mostert, like they both had their flashes, but they've never been trustable for an entire season. So, give me the rookie. He's got this, stereotypical small size. This guy touched the ball almost 400 times his last 2 years in college. Like he actually profiled as a pretty good workhorse. So I really honestly think that had he not had that shoulder injury near the end of preseason, this would have come sooner. Not, again, 4 touchdowns, 50 fantasy points. That's not happening. But if I had to pick one of them that I want the rest of the season, he's the one I want. So, electric speed, Dolphins offense is so damn fun. And
It
I think
really
that
is.
I think he's the one that will, from here to the end of the season, I would pick him having the most fantasy points in that backfield.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. If I were to pick one, like he's definitely the guy, right? You take the young talent. I mean, he looked great. They were showing his like the 40 times of everyone on that team, and he's like right up there with Tyreek. It's insane.
Did you see the next gen stats thing? Like the top 5 fastest speeds in like the 4 different Dolphins in that list.
Dude, it's wild. And that's literally how they're running their offense, right? They're running with these speed guys. So it's like, I agree with you. I think that if I were to pick one, like he's definitely the guy. I'm just kind of concerned because I think that all these guys are going to get work. So I don't know. I mean, like that's just where I'm at. I don't see a chain like taking over that backfield without injury happening. But like we've seen that with Mostert and Jeff Wilson, they can't stay healthy. So it's very realistic that in 2 weeks we're sitting on here talking about him being a league winner because of it.
I think there'll always be another guy. He's not going to get 30 carries.
For sure.
That's not happening. But like you said, if I had to pick one, he's the guy I'm going with.
Yeah.
And the way they move the ball, sorry to cut you off, but the way they move the ball, man, like they're scoring at historic rates right now. So if I have either one.
Some of those running plays were just like the scheme and the play call was just so good, man. It's wild.
Those no-look shovel passes.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's exciting time, man. That's like that made like the week 3 slate for me, really, is just watching the Dolphins smoke the Broncos.
Just like we kind of all expected. But another start Monty or Jordan Addison. More looks are going to KJ Osborne. Actually, Addison got his biggest target share of the year, week 3. I think he's on the field more. I'm pretty sure. I know he's been on the field way more compared to how he started the year. And Montgomery, he's a Thursday night game. He might not play. So I don't know if it's full point PPR. I don't know the rest of your roster construction, but I think Addison's only on the rise the way Cousins is going right now. I'm going Jordan Addison until I see Monty come back healthy and look like he did week 1 against the Chiefs. Aaron?
Yeah, I don't have the routes in front of me, but I got here Addison, his snap percentage in the 3 weeks, 56%, 69%, 71%. So that's going up. His target share, season high 17% last week. So, yeah, we saw, I mean, he's not the same as Jefferson because Jefferson is the stud in this offense. But we saw this with Jefferson to an extent where it took a while to overtake that role in the offense. And I think that as time progresses, he's going to be going more and more, and Osborne's going to be faded out more. And then, yeah, the whole questionable Monty, we'll see. But I mean, even if Monty goes Thursday night, I really like Addison a lot moving forward.
Sinker?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. P-Mugs, I feel like we're always in here telling you to start Addison.
Yeah, start Jordan Addison until he gives you a reason not to.
I really like Addison. I think that the game script for the Vikings, I think their defense is bottom 5 in the league. So I think that game script is going to feed into Addison way more. And then Monty, if Monty even plays. So we'll see. I think the injury concern with Monty, I don't think he's going to go. So I think Addison's is who you're going to plug. But yeah, moving forward, just talking about Jordan Addison, I just think talking about that negative game script, I just think they're going to be trailing a lot. They're going to have to throw the ball. So I really like Addison moving forward.
Yeah, Monty did say he never beat the Packers, and he wants to get out there and beat them. So we'll see. Keep an eye on the injury report. And as I said before, you got to trust your gut, but we like Addison. Speaking of Packers, how confident are you starting Christian Watson? If he plays, I'm starting him. I drafted him. We waited this long. Love looks good. Watson's ceiling is looking awesome the way the Packers are moving right now. But we have Sinker, who took Watson as my guy, and we have a Packers fan in the building. So let's kick it off to the Packers fan first.
His first week back, honestly, I'm not that confident. I think I think they're going to take it slow with him. They have been taking it slow with him. And, the week 2 kind of debacle behind them. Other than that, they've been good. Romeo Doubs has been good. Luke Musgrave is getting his targets. I think that the first game back, whether that's Thursday or next week, I do think it'll be this week, Thursday, but I think he's going to be on a snap count that first week. So I don't mind putting him in a lineup because at this point there might not be better options. And he definitely has the ceiling. It just takes one play for him. But the confidence level would not be super high.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, obviously, he's been hurt to start the year. But usually when I draft someone that early, I can't resist it.
And
Snap
I'll be
count or
honest,
not.
that's part of it too. I wasn't drafting him that early because I'm a big
You
Doubs
did
fan.
say
So,
you did say
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He looks good, man. I gotta give you that, Aaron. I made sure to get a few shares of Doves after you told me. I dropped Reed for him after week 1.
That's
Or
tough. I mean, this is hard for the sidetrack, but it's exciting around here, man. This young receiver corner with Jordan Love, that's going to be a fun season to see where this goes.
For sure. Yeah.
Thursday night should be a great game. Sinker, this is my guy. You drafted him. You're high on him. You waited this long. How you feeling about him?
I mean, I agree with Aaron, right? So he's definitely my guy. I definitely think there's going to be a time this year where he's starting to cook. I think if anything, through 3 weeks, what you've seen through Jordan Love is what I was preaching as Christian Watson being my guy. I think Jordan Love is way better than what the general public was putting him out to be. But coming in with an injury like this, I agree with Aaron. I think they're going to ease him in. He's going to be on a snap count. So I think you got to wait one more week, let him play, see if he looks right, and then start putting him into your lineups. I wouldn't feel too great playing him, honestly, this week. He's still my guy. I still think he's going to be great. But coming off that injury, I don't know. You just got to be optimistic of what you're going to get from him.
He said he made sure he drafted Christian Watson every chance I got. He put his trust into you.
I mean, we're through 3 weeks, right? So just
it's early.
At the end of the year, if Christian Watson fails, you can come in here and I'll do a big ice for you or something, a Smirnoff. I'll chug one.
All right, here's another question from Jonathan involving Watson. Christian Watson, Dotson, Jalen Warren, or Drake London. Choose one for the flex. I think I'm playing Jalen Warren. He's only more and more involved. Who they play? Houston. They have Houston this week. Yeah, I think this is pretty easy for me. I think if you're hesitant about Watson and you don't want to play Watson, it's Warren for me. It's one of those two. We'll keep this one shorter. Sinker, who do you like out of those?
Who do the Falcons have this week? Look that up. The Jags. I might go to Drake London,
Is that
dude.
London?
I might
Is
go to
that
Drake
London in London?
In London, yeah.
Drake London in London. I might go to Drake London, to be honest with you. I think Jalen Warren looks like the better back, but for some reason, they're just still going to give Najee the ball 18 times, even though he looks like a truck trying to run the ball. I don't know. To me, it's probably Drake London here. I think you got to wait with Christian Watson. Dotson, I don't like what I've seen. He's borderline droppable almost for me. So probably Drake London.
Aaron, you on a Drake London and London train, or pivoting elsewhere?
I mean, aside from the fun London and London narrative, I think it's a bit of a dart throw. Atlanta, how much are they going to be throwing the ball? But I believe in the talent, which I guess the same argument can be made for Jalen Warren. I do think I was a slow to come around to Warren, but I do think he is more talented than Najee. But Najee got 19 carries last week. Warren still is behind him in snaps. So if I had to pick one, I'm picking London, hoping he gets that touchdown. I agreed. Dotson, yeah, borderline droppable. I mean, that's been they need Brissett to take over that offense, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I agree.
Well, Jalen Warren definitely looked like the better back. Maybe the Steelers will finally see that eventually. And
we got that weird report too, right before the kickoff or whatever, the day before, that Warren was going to be more involved, but he really wasn't that much more involved.
Yeah, and the worst part about that is like they won the game too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's
Just
like
something to keep an eye on.
that's the
Usage.
worst thing. It's like they won the game, so they're like, this is. I feel like that's what coaches do. They're like, well, we won, so it's like we don't have to switch up too much, right? Like let's keep giving slow Najee the ball.
And I mean, can't you just see him getting 24 carries against Houston? I can see that game happening.
I know, I agree.
Well, we got another caller. That's 2 in one show. That's great. Keep them coming. Let's connect them up.
Caller, thanks for calling Fanline. What's your name? Where you from? What can we do for you?
Mute your audio.
One second. What's up? This is Tommy Donuts. I'm from New Jersey.
That's Tommy Feedback. What's up, Tommy?
So I'm in a rough place right now for my one fantasy league. I have no idea what to do with this one player because for foreseeable future, I think I have to bench him. So I have Tua on my bench. I have Patrick Mahomes as my starting quarterback. However, this is a keeper league, and if I decide to keep Tua, I get him in the 11th round. My question for you is, with Michael Pittman and Terry McLaurin as my starting receivers, should I try to trade Tua for a receiver or hold on to him and roll until next year?
I mean,
That's a good question.
that is a great question. Two on the 11th, right?
Yeah.
Do we think? I mean, I think the question here is: do we think Tua next year? Like, where do we think after this 3 weeks? Where do we think his draft capital is? I think that's the question. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys go.
I think the
5th round
biggest.
sweet spot, maybe.
So I think the big question is for this year, how far ahead of Tua do you think Mahomes really is? And then follow up, can you get a haul, like a huge haul for Mahomes?
So you think so Tommy was saying trade Tua. You're thinking keep Tua because Tua's. I kind of like this way you're going with this. Keep Tua. See if you can get a big name guy for Mahomes.
Trades are so tricky, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the season, if I had to bet, I bet that Mahomes has more points than Tua. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was the other way around, the way the season has started.
Yeah, Mahomes looks. He has that. He hurt his ankle, but before that, he was cooking. Man, he looked really good.
Oh yeah, he's always gonna look good.
I know.
That's
I don't know. I don't know. 11th. Also, though, like I don't want to get too far off topic, but I think that has this year proven like we all drafted quarterbacks fairly earlier than like it typically was being drafted. And this is we can talk about this when Tommy's off the phone, but is it like next year? Are you going to go into the draft being like, maybe I shouldn't draft a quarterback as early? Because that's like my initial thought. Because I was wanting one of the big, 1A, 1B guys. And then now after 3 weeks, I'm like, I should have just waited and streamed a quarterback. But that we can talk about that off air. Tommy, I think that I would probably you have two quarterbacks like that. I would probably try to get a deal to better your team because you can't start both of them. So I don't hate trying to move Mahomes for a big name guy if someone wants to do that.
I think honestly, I'm finding receivers and packages that I like, and I'm peppering my league with all kinds of offers.
Yeah,
I actually like that, man. I like that Tua looks elite. So you have two elite guys right now. You have Patrick Mahomes, the biggest name in football, and if you get Tua for a double-digit round keeper next year, and you think he could stay healthy, hell yeah, I would try to trade Patrick Mahomes for a stud player that'll help my team, like another receiver. I don't know. I don't know if you play with idiots, but if you offered, maybe Patrick Mahomes or Keenan Allen right now, and you get to have Tua, do that or like anyone around that range.
Well, I just want to. I don't want to cut you off, but you say playing with idiots, but I had a one trade request already today. I was offered Kareem Hunt for Tua, so that was That was a hard
Block
decline.
their number and never speak to them
hard
again.
decline. Good.
Doing quarterback trades are tough too, right? You can't just like trade Mahomes for Keenan Allen. You're gonna have to do like Mahomes and like throw in like a wide receiver 3 or 4 to try to get like a big name guy. Like that's what I would try to do. I would
And
trade
this is a big thing
Mahomes.
too. Like, find somebody in your league who like is just struggling at quarterback to try to stream and maybe trying to think of a good
The Trevor Lawrence
example.
owner.
Yeah, there you go, Trevor Lawrence, or I mean, somebody who believed in Deshaun Watson, and all of a sudden, like, well, that's not going great, or believed in Russell Wilson, or hey, here you go, the Justin Fields manager.
Yeah.
That might be a target.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Keenan Allen was a bad example, but I did say idiots because only an idiot's trading Keenan Allen right now. But you know what I mean. Try to get an elite player. Tommy Dones, that was a great question. I hope you make the right choice, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Let's keep it rolling. More Jahmyr Gibbs talk. I don't want to talk about it, but we have to. Any concerns that Jahmyr Gibbs has yet to find the end zone, or is it just a matter of time? Well, it's obviously a matter of time. He's going to score eventually, but just not what you want after 3 weeks of using that high draft capital on Gibbs. I did it in a few big leagues. I know a lot of other sharp drafters took the risk, and it sucks. No Monty should have had a way bigger game last week, but just didn't get it. So yeah, a little bit concerning, but still a rookie, still very early into the season. I'm not trading Jahmyr Gibbs for, anything under what he should be valued at. First or second round guys. I know draft capital goes out the window once the season starts, but I'm not trading Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going down with the ship if that ship goes down. So yeah, a little concerned, but it's only a matter of time until he scores, and fingers crossed that he gets going and the electric player we know, starts cooking. Aaron, how do you feel about Gibbs?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I actually have been going out and trying to make offers for Gibbs this week. I haven't been able to get one through yet, but there's good signs for the usage. I know Monty was out, and he had 17 rush attempts last week, like 4.7 yards per carry. Okay, not great, and he said he didn't get in the end zone, but I think they are still working him along. I think they're still figuring out how to use him, and honestly, I think Gibbs is still adjusting to the NFL speed because he's used to being the fastest guy on the field at all times. So I think it's just a matter of time. I think it might be a little frustrating and a roller coaster ride for a while still, but I think that it's going to be trending upwards more than downwards over the rest of the season.
I sure hope so. Sinker, you feel the same way?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree. Like, I think, the usage last game, the only concern I have is, and this is just like probably a game scheme or something, but he didn't catch any balls. Like, they weren't throwing him any balls. So that's the only thing for me, which I don't understand why they weren't doing that.
And the week before, he had 9 targets. So yeah, it's very
that's
weird.
like it's just a weird type of thing, and it's like, I don't know. I love the talent with Gibbs, and like, he's a rookie. It's week 3. I still think he's going to get there. I'm not worried that he hasn't found the end zone yet. Yeah, I mean, you just got to kind of hold tight with him.
For sure. Fantasy Fanline is ride or dying with Jahmyr Gibbs. We're going down with the shit, but we expect that Saint to come back. We got Derek chatting in. What's up, guys? Thoughts on this trade? I send Mostert and Ridley for Gibbs and Waddle, 10-team, half PPR. That's a crazy damn trade. We just talked how we liked Achane. That's how you pronounce it now, Achane. I'm gonna keep calling Achane. Just sounds so much cooler.
Yeah, it does.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Whatever. It's until I get it in my head like that. It's Achane. But Mostert after that huge week, and Ridley for Gibbs and Waddle. We just told you we like Gibbs. Waddle is yet to get right. He's banged up.
I'm smashing that, dude. If I can,
I like Gibbs and Waddle.
I love it.
If I can get Gibbs and Waddle for Mostert, selling high on Mostert, And like, I don't know. That's for me. That's easy, man. Take Gibbs and Waddle in concussion protocol. You just saw the Dolphins like cook for 70 yards. Like when Waddle gets back, like he's going to be a part of that.
There you go. Clean sweep, Derek. Good luck with that trade, man. All right, old Frank Gregg, FTP. That means fun time Packers, I'm assuming. With that being said, I'm benching Fields for love, and Watson is back on the field, and as you should. Until Fields gets it right, you should probably play anyone over him right now.
I feel bad for you, Greg.
Jameis Winston. Speaking of Jameis Winston, P. Muggs, our biggest fan. Thoughts on Jameis Winston? Is that a good temporary waiver pickup over Ritter? I'll speak for everyone. Yes. No one wants to start Ritter in Superflex. I know things get desperate sometimes, but if you could get Winston, you play him and you let Ritter take a seat. Unless we're into this London breakout crazy Desmond Ritter game, but no, I'm playing Jameis Winston over Ritter. I'll speak for everyone on that. Thumbs up. All right, cool. Jags in London. Here's a good one. Jaquavion. Should I start Laporta or Ingram? Well, congrats on having two of the most consistent tight ends this year. First of all, it's a great problem to have. I think I want to go Laporta. Green Bay is like, aren't they like? How are they against the tight end? I don't know. He had 11 targets, 8 grabs, 84 yards. I think I'm going with the rookie. I know that. I
you're
think
starting Laporta. You're starting Laporta over.
Ingram's been solid too.
Yeah. So what I'm looking at here is.
I know. I just think you're starting. I think Sam Laporta moving forward. And this is a bold take, but I think there's only 2 tight ends, maybe 3, that I would start over him going forward. I think obviously Kelce, Andrews, and Hawkinson. Other than that, like I'm starting Laporta above everyone else. That usage, and it's only going to get better in his target share, and what you're seeing out of this guy, it's elite. I love him, and I love him moving forward.
The fantasy footballers actually posted today that Laporta has the most receptions in a 3-game span for a tight end as like a rookie, like ever, like historic numbers through 3. And
it was it was in my Target Trends article right now. So through 3 weeks, he is just behind. Like I think it's 2 targets behind Jeremy Shockey's pace for most targets in a rookie season from a tight end.
Absolutely crazy.
And the matchup is technically a little. What I'm looking at here is a little better for Ingram, but I'm playing Laporta.
There you go. But don't drop Ingram. You have 2 great tight ends.
Yeah.
I mean, that's people would die for just one right now. I feel it's rough out there in the tight end wasteland. Brandon Hall, Kyle Pitt's last touchdown was in London, I believe. Pitt's getting a lot of hate right now. He's scoring. You heard it here first. Pitt's anytime touchdown is a lock, and if it's not, go after Brandon Hall and not me. We'll circle back to that, Brandon. This one's a Hunter Henry or Dalton Kincaid. We got tight end questions today. I'm going Hunter Henry. He's more involved right now. I'm playing Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I agree. With Dawson Knox being there, I never fully bought into the Kincaid hype, and I just think that they kind of, they hurt each other. They're both going to be getting tight end targets, tight end routes, and Henry's kind of been the guy. I guess he has been nothing in New England so far.
You with Hunter Henry, Sinker? Said it last week. You might as well throw him out there while he's hot. Hope to keep it going. You with me, Sinker?
Yeah, man. I'm probably keeping Hunter Henry in.
All right, we're good. Another clean sweep. Nice and easy today. Let's get some arguments going. Come on. Yo, what's up, fellas? What's up, AD? Week 5 by hell. We're jumping 2 weeks.
I love that they're looking ahead to week 5 by. That's actually a pretty savvy move at this point. They're coming. 5 weeks are coming.
Oh, there's Sinker just dropped. It's all good, though. Show must go on. I'm sure he'll hop back in. Little Wi-Fi, maybe a Kansas City Storm or two. But Downs versus the Titans or Rashee Rice versus the Vikings? Oh, man, that's kind of ugly. It's kind of
So
ugly, AD.
if it's, I mean, the nice thing is you can monitor this for another week. But if it's going the way it has been in this full PPR, I would go with Downs. So again, this was somewhere I wrote that Downs actually has the second most slots from the snap in the entire NFL. He's got the same amount of slot snaps as Keenan Allen. I think he had like 11 targets last week. So I don't think he's giving you a huge game, but I think he's got a nice PPR floor.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The way it's moving and progressing, I'm out of Rashee Rice or Downs. I'm gonna roll Downs.
I think
Sink, you
Rice has
back
got
with
some big
us?
potential too, but
Yeah,
Audio.
sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, all is well, man.
Yeah,
All
just
is
pay
well.
$100 for Google Fiber and I just lag out. Love it.
Come on, Google Fiber.
So this is
be
interesting,
better.
man. I actually really like Rashee Rice, dude. I think moving forward, I think he's going to get more action in that offense. The only problem that you have with Mahomes is he spreads the ball around so much. But Rashee Rice literally had two opportunities in the game where he got tackled on the 1 yard line, where he could have had 2 touchdowns, and he was getting targeted in the red zone. So I'm going to lean Rashee Rice. It might be a homer pick, but I really liked what I saw from him, and I really like his opportunity moving forward to become the one there.
All right, that's 2v1. At least it wasn't a clean sweep that time. Derek, thanks, guys. Yeah, trying to add Waddle to stack with Tua. That makes it even better. Definitely do that. That's a great trade for you, I'd say. Let's talk, Chargers receivers. We heard the bad news that Mike Williams is out for the year now. And it's a big waiver day tomorrow for a lot of leagues. So you preferring Palmer or the rookie Quentin Johnston? And to me, it's Palmer. He's just on the field more. We've seen him with Herbert. We've seen him have big games when either Allen or Mike Williams went down. So I'm just going to go with the guy that I know could get it done. I'm not saying Johnson's going to be bad, and he could still break out, and I could, be wrong about this. But he hasn't been impressive to me at all. Obviously, his snaps and targets are going to go up, but I want the guy who we've seen get it done. I don't know if you're taking the risk on the rookie or you going with reliable Josh Palmer. Aaron?
yeah. So maybe this is kind of a cop out, but it really comes down to what I need. If I need someone to start this week, I'm taking Palmer. And if I'm doing okay at the position and I want someone that could blow up 2, 3, 4 weeks from now, I'm going with Quentin Johnson. So I think that Quentin's just going to get more and more adapted to the NFL, just like we see all the time with rookies as the season progresses. So I don't think he's going to break out right away, but I think that breakout has got a high potential of happening at some point in the season. So it's just a matter of if I need him to play now or if I'm stashing for the future.
Yeah, if you're willing to take that gamble and roll the dice, and you think Johnston's going to he's a big body guy, hyped up prospect.
First round pick.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like that logic. If you need to win now, Palmer is a great guy to snag up. But, if you're sitting at 3-0 and want to, just like a late round dart throw in a redraft, that's pretty much what it is when you pick up Quentin Johnston right now. You're not picking him up to start, but, if he does have his monster game, you're going to be glad he's on your bench. Sinker, who do you prefer out of these two?
Well, I think I'm still lagging, so let me know. Can you guys hear me good or no?
You're good.
Okay, sorry. I don't know what's going on with my internet.
It happens.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. I like Joshua Palmer moving forward. I think that QJ as he starts to get more snaps and more involved.
Yep.
And there he goes. This is the Google Fibergate episode. Sinker's definitely very frustrated right now, so it'll be very
I'm
nice
sure.
to him when he comes back. So, all right, I like Palmer. Aaron says it depends what you need. Take that as you will, and just take the right guy. No pressure. Good luck. Speaking of waivers, who are the players that you are prioritizing on waivers this week? Before we get into it, if Tank Dell's still chilling on your waiver wire, you got to go snag Tank Dell. He led the Texans in targets in 2 straight games. Stroud looks legit. I saw the chat wanted more Stroud talk. There you have it. The kid looks good. And Tank Dell is probably definitely my number 1 receiver out if he's still there. Over Palmer and Johnson, to be honest. Obviously, we talked about Achane. Depending on how much you need a running back. If you're running back desperate, he's one of the guys that you can just spend most of your fat, if not all of it. Depends how desperate you are. But, luckily I drafted him in a few leagues. I don't have to worry about scooping him off waivers. But Achane's my number 1 guy. Tank Dell, if he's still there. Josh Palmer. Quentin Johnston, who we just talked about both of them. How about Adam Thielen? Old man Thielen, which we'll get into Adam Thielen. But anyone I missed, Aaron, that you'd add to the list?
A little bit. So again, if there's nobody that I'm, the guys you mentioned, Tank Dell, Devin Achane, those guys definitely they need to be picked up. They're available in a lot of leagues, and they are directly into your starting lineup if they're available. So other than that, I've got really some of the big handcuff type guys. So I think, Tajay Spears, I think, deserves some consideration.
That's a good one.
And I'm not a fan of if I'm the Derrick Henry manager, I got to go out and get him. I'm a fan of I got a roster spot to burn. I'm going to go get somebody else's handcuff because if it hits, then my team just gets amplified. So I have Spears on that list, and then Dowdle for the Cowboys because God forbid something happens to Pollard. Yeah, it sort of seems like he's going to be the next guy up in that role. So those are stashes for that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely some great stashes. Spears was a good one. What's going on with Derrick Henry?
I think it's really like a terrible game flow for him is what it's been. But what signs do we have that's going to change? That's the problem.
Yeah, this might be the last week Spears is going to be on your waiver wire. So take what Aaron said and make the right choice for your team. And God forbid anything happens to Derrick Henry, you got a starting RB who looks pretty good with what we've seen of him so far. So those are 2 I'm glad you got that I missed, man. We're gonna wrap up here. We lost Sinker, technical difficulties, but we got one more. So get into these streaming defenses, man. Who are you streaming week 4 defensively? I'll start by saying if nobody took the Chiefs last week, which they should have against Justin Fields, they get Zach Wilson this week. So Chiefs, if they're out there for sure. I like the Browns or the Ravens in the same game. I expect that game to have a few turnovers each. Kills me to say this, but Seahawks against my Giants Monday night could be a good stream. And Cincy at the Titans could be a good stream too. That Cincy defense looked pretty solid yesterday. So in Tennessee, I could see them, getting a few turnovers, hope for that pick 6. Aaron, anyone you like as far as streaming that I missed?
Yeah, well, those are all really good. There's one more I got to mention because they were literally the worst you could possibly do last week, but Denver plays Chicago, man, and Chicago's offense just looks so broken. Justin Fields is taking sacks and just I think you can play Denver. You got to kind of hold your breath, but I think if you're desperate enough, that's not a bad play.
It's a good one, man. Aaron, it's been a lot of fun. I've been sick. Sinker had a little cold. We had the internet issues, but we got through it, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on. you want to take a minute or two and remind the people what you do and where they can find you?
Yeah, definitely. So it's with the fantasy footballers. Right now, I do 2 articles every week. It's Target Trends article comes out every Tuesday morning. That's exactly what it sounds like. It's looking at who's been getting more targets than you would expect, who's dominating in targets. It's also, who is surprisingly not getting as many targets. It's just whatever sticks out really on a week-to-week basis. That's every Tuesday, and then every Friday, I get to write article for the DFS pass this year. So I'm focusing on tournaments and FanDuel, which has been super fun. I did write up HN in the article last week, so that
Oh,
was
yeah.
that was a good feeling to have that
That's
one.
a grand slam, man.
Yeah.
That's a grand slam. That's awesome, man. Definitely check out Aaron Larson's articles if you haven't already. Works for the best in the business, man. Fantasy footballers. Aaron, I think this is the last time we have you this year, man. But
Yeah. Well,
hopefully
you ever
we'll
need
see you
sub.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I know you're always down to talk ball.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the callers. AD, love Fantasy Fanline. We love you, man. P Mugs, thank you for tuning in. It's been a sick one. Another flu game for me, but show must
Got
go
through it.
on.
Fought through it.
We're headed on to week 4. So for Sinker, for Google Fiber. Oh, there he is. Hold on.
He's back.
Sinker, we're signing off, man. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah, man. Sorry, guys.
It's all right. He made it back.
I got two gigabyte Google Fiber internet, man, and I just fucking cut out in the middle of a show. I love it. I'm sorry, man. I apologize.
It's all right. We can't control our internet. It's just things out of our control, man. Obviously,
For
a live stream show. This is bound to happen once in a while, and we made it work. It was a good time, as always, talking with Aaron. So for Aaron Larson, for Sinker, for Google Fiber, get your shit together.
Don't give him a shout out, man.
We are Fantasy Fanline. See you next week. Peace.